Okay. So, vulnerability. Oop, what happened to my light? Vulnerability is your superpower. So, it's actually it's actually pretty deep. Um, us hiding our vulnerability is literally how we fell in the first place. You wouldn't have an ego. You wouldn't have a character. You wouldn't be in a body, in a form, if you didn't hide your vulnerability as a spirit, as a space, as a nothingness. You're nothing, and then you become aware. And that awareness is the very first layer, the very first cloth that you cover and clothe your nothingness with, your space with. And awareness is a stimuli. A stimuli is a mind. A mind, to be more specific, is a collection of stimuli. And when you first become aware and you stay within that awareness long enough, it accumulates to become a mind, your mindset. So your mind is the first layer covering. And then your mind condenses to then become your character. Your mindset creates your character. And that character is the second layering that you clothe your spirit with. So mind is the first layering, character or your ego is the second layering. And then your character becomes the world around you. The world around you is created and stems from and by your character, who you are. If you're a musician, you're going to be in a world of music. You're going to have friends that are into music. You're going to have producers there. Your room is going to have instruments. You get what I'm saying? That is the world that you're in. The artist world, the music industry, fill in the blanks. So your character, your ego, then creates the world. And that would be the third layer that you are in. But understand that these are layers. These are things that we use to cover our nothing, to cover our space, our spirit. And whenever someone peels back the layer, takes something away from us, strips it away, we feel exposed, we feel naked. And us as spirits, we hate feeling naked, we hate feeling exposed. That's why we became aware, right? Which is just wrapping an awareness around us, which is just wrapping clothes, a shield around us. But here's the crazy part. Like, this is the crazy part about it all. We didn't know as spirits that we were doing something wrong. We didn't know that we were separating ourselves from ourselves, our authentic self. This is this is why we look at the world today like nobody knows who they actually are, because instead of going to their vulnerability and embracing their vulnerability to reveal to them and remind them who they are, they just add on another layer. They say, I don't know who I am. Well, I really like basketball. So, yeah, I'm a basketball player. Like, you just added on another layer. That's not who you are. A title? A title is something that your ego can go into. It's a title is upheld by the ego. It's not your authentic self. Because when you were born, you weren't a basketball player. So that's not really you. You get what I'm saying? It's deep. So it's just so normalized. Like, if we as spirits never created forms to hide behind, then there would be nothing in existence. Like, there would be nothing would be dense. So nothing would exist, nothing would be dense. And something that I found just going through my journey and meditating a lot is I am most at peace when I'm one with the vast space, when I just feel the space around me and I just join it, and I let go of the mindset of I'm this body and my name is Nacella and I'm a girl, and I let go of all of those beliefs and I'm like, no, I'm just space. And I join the overall space in my room and I'm just being just and nothing. It's such, like, when you first hear it, it sounds so depressing. It honestly makes, at least for me, when I first discovered that in the beginning there was nothing. So that means you are nothing because you came out of nothing. So, bitch, you came out of thin air. So it's like, it's depressing at first because it's like, what? Like, I don't know. At least for me, it was. But then, like, over time, when you kind of just let it settle in, and then, like, you meditate and you actually experience what it's like. I mean, it's scary at first when you experience it, but then you just keep going back and experiencing it. It's bliss. It's bliss. It's like everything just is and never was and will always be. And, like, it's just bliss. Like, and you realize that all the chaos is within the somethings. And the universe is literally a collection of something. So it's like when you meditate and you just kind of like leave the universe, because the universe is in a big vast void, a big vast space of nothingness. And so when you kind of just be one with the nothingness and you're not in the universe anymore, you're not in the collection of things anymore, you're away from the chaos. And if there's no chaos, there's order. And when there's order, there's harmony, there's peace. And it's just a bliss. Like, anyways, I'm good. I'm getting off topic. I'm sorry. I love it. I could say that all day. But the point of this video, getting back on topic, is your vulnerability is your power. Because that's who you actually are. See, you're just a space, but because this space is right here, and then there's another space right here, and then there's another space right here. When the spaces become aware, its point of observation is different than the one that's next to it, than the one that's over here, than the one that's over here. So this means that each spirit has a unique perspective. You see? So when you peel back all your layers and you come back to your authentic self, you're coming back to your authentic point of observation, your authentic perspective, which creates and turns into your authentic truth. And then once you become aware of that, that awareness, you stay in that awareness, it'll accumulate and it'll become your character, which will then become your world around you. And that's ultimately what heaven is. Heaven is to be in a world that perfectly reflects your authentic self, not a version of you that's just not authentic to you, because you're going to get tired of it. But you'll never get tired of your authentic self, because you were always that. You have no beginning and no end. You're eternal. You see? So you can never get tired of it, because it's something that was always here. It wasn't created or destroyed. Like, you were always you. You were always a space. You were always a nothingness, and you were always in that one space and location before becoming aware and decided to travel through spaces in your little spaceship, which is your mind. So your vulnerability is your power. And you can even see it in today, like when someone's being vulnerable, people could tell, people can see it. It looks different. It's not predictable. And it has so much more value because it's so much more rare. And you'll be able to manifest things that actually reflect you, things that like you'll literally will be in the creation process of creating your heaven. The more that you can stay in your vulnerability, you will literally be creating your heaven. No matter the downfalls you go through, the trials and tribulations you go through, you're gonna go through trials and tribulations any fucking way. So you might as well go through trials and tribulations being who you actually are. And so when you get a good outcome, it's really good, because it's reflecting your authenticity, and so it'll just feel even more right, versus you being someone else trying to go after something and then you get it and it's like, yeah, you feel good because you got it, but I'm just telling you, it's such a like deeper happiness, a deeper satisfaction when you get something with from by just being yourself, and it directly caters to you being yourself, so you can be yourself even more. And it's just such an easiness, such an ease that you can go about life when you're just being yourself, and you're creating these situations and these wins and these L's and the people that you meet and everything, your world. You're creating your world by just being yourself, and so you don't have to try. That is already letting go of a whole headache. You know how much energy and just strain and drain there is when you have to try, especially when you have to try in every aspect of your life because you're not being yourself. So you have to try, you have to put in more energy than you need to just to interact with people, because the way that they know you, the characteristic that you present yourself as is not a light that reflects your authenticity. So you have to put on the light. You can't just go to sleep and wake up like this. You have to wake up and put on the light. You get what I'm saying? Like, but when your vulnerability becomes your ego, when your vulnerability becomes your light, becomes your characteristic, you don't have to put on a show, put on a light, put on a scene, put on a characteristic, put on an act. You don't have to put on an expression. You don't have to put anything on. Like, you're literally just being. And that is the biggest peace ever, when you can just be. It's peace. I'm telling you. I'm telling you from experience. Like, I would be myself no matter how bad I got bullied in middle school and high school. Like, I still remained myself because it was like, I'm clearly doing something right if all these people are so threatened by me that they feel like they have to go out their way and put all their energy in doing what it is that they're doing. And all I'm doing is being myself. And people are really overextending themselves to really make sure that I feel bad at the end of the day. Like, they think about me. Like, and I'm just being myself. Like, I was able to find the satisfaction in everything. Because, like, they were, like, really popular. And the girls were really pretty. Even the boys were really cute. And the boys that was bullying me, like all the bitches wanted him and shit like that, and he was over here spending all his energy and time on me. Like, I mean, in a negative way, but it is what it is. So I'm just like, yo, like, I really saw it like that. And even though like it still sucked because it was like it really disrupted my peace, and it kind of ruined my high school experience. It was like I'm proud that I could look back and be like, yo, I'm glad I didn't fold. I'm glad I didn't try to act like somebody else just to like, nah. Like, you know? So like from experience, like it doesn't matter like if you get good out of it, if you get bad out of it, like what is shall be, because you're just being yourself. You get what I'm saying? It's not like you were putting on an act and then you received praise for it. And then now it's like, okay, what is shouldn't be. You get what I'm saying? Because you're acting, you're faking, you're pretending. So because what is shouldn't be, you're gonna have to keep putting on all this energy work, putting on doing the most to like keep it up, to try to make it last long. And what isn't true, what's false shall decay. What's false won't stand, won't last long, you know. But your vulnerability is your power. Your vulnerability is your power. It's how you get what you want. Like when you speak from the heart, when you're speaking from your when you're coming from an honest place, it's a lot harder for someone to say no. Like people can see that. And again, it's because it's so rare, it just makes your vulnerability that much more powerful because it's so rare. People can automatically, instantly tell, like, okay, this person's authentic. This person's faking. This person's a follower. This person's regular. Oh no, this person's unique. This person's actually themselves. Like people can see that shit and tell that shit. And they admire that shit because it's so normalized to just add on another layer, another layer, another layer. And it's so deep that like this is literally how existence came to be. Like that's literally how existence came to be. Putting on a false layering, pretending, creating a character. You are nothing. Your character you created. This is a condensed character. And when I was in a lighter realm of reality, this body was just a mindset. It was just a world that I was swimming in. And I stayed in it long enough till now it's like my body. Now like it's like now I am the world. Literally. You see? And like and because now I am the world, I'm able to like go into a whole nother layer, which is just going even further away from nothing, which is my original state of being, which is who I am. Nothing. It's what I am. Nothing. Who you are is just based on like where in the vast nothingness am I located. You get what I'm saying? So it's just layers. Like, so I don't know. I just want to make this video to just like motivate you to just be yourself, be vulnerable, expose yourself, allow yourself to be exposed, allow yourself to be seen for your for who you actually are. Like you will just feel so much more free. You'll feel better. Like it's endless, the benefits. Like the benefits are endless. And it's scary for people to do just because it's so unfamiliar. You know, like literally we created these forms and these characteristics and got lost in them and try to convince ourselves, because we convince ourselves that like no, we are that, and it's like no, like you're hiding behind that. You know what I mean? Like who are you behind it? Like, and it's deep. But yeah, your vulnerability is your power. And it's not until that you actually start experiencing it for real that you're gonna see like doors unlocked. You're really gonna see like the power of it for real, because it doesn't seem that deep until you actually go and like be your authentic vulnerable self, and you'll start to see some shit. You'll start to see like certain abilities and gifts and talents that you had that you didn't even know that you had, that you never would have known if you didn't actually be yourself. You know what I mean? And see other people's reactions and how they react and respond to you. So you could further learn about yourself, you know? But yeah, your vulnerability is your power. Be yourself. Love you guys. Bye. One more thing that I want to add. Shout out to Dolo the Pilot Man for touching on this topic, because it just it just inspired me to like, I mean, I've always been my authentic self, but um it just it really kind of resonated with my soul and kind of just kind of put me in my feelings a bit. Like, I don't know, I felt like that was really deep. And yeah, I don't want to be anybody else. Like, I mean, I never wanted to be anybody else, but after hearing that, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like when you get knowledge and when you get some information that is really impactful on you personally, it's like your obligation to pass it on, because you could be um you could be relaying or removing certain blocks from someone else the same way that that person did for you. You get what I'm saying? It's each one teach one, each one helps one. And so shout out to him for sure, and I just want to keep this chain going. So like, if what I said in that video kind of gave you some realizations of how important it is to just like put the wall down, put the facade down, put the mask down, stop pretending, and like really like be vulnerable no matter how scary and unfamiliar it is, because that's your power. And you'll realize that by you not being vulnerable, that it was actually holding you back in so many ways. Like, you'll realize it when you actually start doing it, how it's been holding you back. And so just keep the chain going. And if there's somebody in your life that could really use this information, that you feel like them hearing this would really like unlock something for them or help them with something or inspire them, like, keep the chain going, like share it to them. um but shout out to Archangel Uriel, Dolo the Pilot Man. He's the realest to do it out here. Like, he's like, he's always getting my mind like thinking, and he always takes me to like a deeper place behind things. And I'm a Scorpio, so I like deep shit. But yeah, um, salute.